In 1966, Donald Gilmore acquired permission to build a replica of what is now known as the Steam Barn after he was unable to purchase the original barn. A logging firm in Washington state provided the massive timbers needed to duplicate the original design. Gilmore purchased a 1920 Porter steam locomotive and moved it here for display. The locomotive is long since sold off, but the rail tracks remain in the brick floor. I suspect the balcony in this room was for getting a better view of this locomotive. Donald Gilmore also had purchased a steam-powered boat, and he had plans to dig a canal to connect the campus with Gull Lake. Permitting for the project was denied. I wonder what things would look like today if they had agreed with his vision. Gilmore and Walt Disney being good friends, you can definitely see the influence Walt likely had on him. I'm here during the Hoods Up event, a rare look inside the engine bays only in the month of March. Come along and check out these amazing pieces of history. The steam barn is currently occupied by the Museum of the Horseless Carriage. They are dedicated to the brass-era automobiles pre-1916. I'll be back to Gilmore in July of 2026 for the Celebration of Brass car show. During this event, there will be a groundbreaking ceremony for the construction of a new building and permanent home for the Museum of the Horseless Carriage. I'll do a quick walkthrough of the barn and give an overview of what's here, and then I'll come back around and talk about some of these rare cars. I wanted to take a minute and talk about Donald Gilmore's accomplishments here. After his death, the museum has continued to grow and expand, but what I wanted to point out is the early history. Gilmore received a 1920 Pierce Arrow as a retirement gift from his wife in 1963 after a top executive career at the Upjohn Pharmaceutical Company. He restored this car and became hooked on collecting old cars. By the time the museum opened in 1966, he had acquired 90 acres of farmland, moved and reconstructed several historic barns, created a nonprofit foundation to operate the museum. He had collected 57 cars for display. He had a steam-powered locomotive and boat. He built a restoration shop and a carriage house, and moved a historic railroad tower. A hobby started by his wife, keeping him from boredom and retirement, evolved from the one car to all this in just 3 years. I realize he was retired, but imagine he accomplished all this in just 3 years when most people head for the couch. Another cool thing to note is the floor is made of vintage Kalamazoo street bricks. This is the first of several videos I will be posting from the Hoods Up event. At 90 acres, even with several buildings closed during this off-season and 2 large sections of the main museum building being cleared out of cars making room for new exhibits, I still had too much footage to fit into one video. This is the largest automobile museum in North America, not by numbers of cars, but by size. I'll also be back in August for the Red Barn Spectacular Car Show, their largest show of the year, with normal attendance near 1,500 show vehicles. Combine that with the buildings and over 400 cars on display, it can quickly become overwhelming and hard to see in a single day. I apologize for my voice. I'm getting over being sick, but that gives me extra time to edit and start getting my footage posted. I'll start out with this 1902 Holly motor bicycle, the same Holly known for producing carburetors still today. Holly started out with these motor bicycles turning out around 5 per day. Although you could pedal it, the single piston engine would get you 50 miles on a single tank of gas. This bike is so special because it is the only one known to still exist. Prior visits here to Gilmore, I was able to walk around this bike and easily see it. This new display makes the bike hard to see, and with so much reflection, even harder to video. I hope this is part of the move to the new Horseless Carriage Club building, and it might be given a much better display area it deserves. Transitioning from bicycles, Holly brothers George and Earl started making their own automobiles, like this 1903 Holly Motorette Runabout, only available in a two-seat version. Production ran from 1902 to 1904, when they transitioned only to making carburetors, largely due to Henry Ford, where they made 16 million carburetors for the Model T. It's estimated only 600 were built. The sign says this one was discovered in the 1940s in a collapsed barn and only one of three known to exist. I saw a second Holly Runabout at a car show in northern Michigan where my wife was allowed to sit behind the steering wheel. The Locomobile Company was founded in 1899, began producing steam cars, and transitioned to gasoline vehicles exclusively in 1905. This car is a 1916 example. This is a 1915 Woods Mobilette. The advertising motto was, "Built like a watch, and ownership will not cause tuberculosis of one's wallet." A type of cycle car, it is very narrow, and the seats are offset. By 1916, with the Ford Runabout costing only $390, the cycle car craze died. The car is only 36 inches wide. Options included a speedometer for $11, headlight and tank at $8, and brakes for $10. Do you think they sold any with no brakes? This is one of the coolest stories in the museum. The sign reads, "In 1902, two brothers aged 9 and 6 rode their horses all the way from Oklahoma City, Oklahoma to New York City, New York to meet Uncle Teddy Roosevelt. When they met up with their father there, the boys talked their dad into buying them a 1909 brush motor car, and the two young Abernathy brothers drove their car, identical to the one displayed, 2,500 miles home. They stopped to see world-famous Niagara Falls, drove to Detroit, Michigan to visit the Brush Motor Car Company, then headed to Battle Creek to see how their breakfast cereal was made. The boys were treated as celebrities throughout their entire journey home, not because of their age, but for undertaking such a daring trip. During that time, most people had never traveled for more than 25 miles from their home, and likely did that on horseback. The Abernathy's adventure was also before good roads, guide maps, or gas stations, and the automobile was still considered a fad. This is a 1899 Locomobile Steam Runabout, 5.5 horsepower, factory price $600. This is a 1903 Curve Dash Oldsmobile, built from 1901 to 1907. A 1 horsepower, 1 cylinder engine powered the car. The advertising slogan says, "Can go about as fast as a man cares to travel." 1903 Stevens Duryea. Company advertising says it starts from the seat. It is a tiller car. This is a 1906 Columbia touring car, the same company that built Columbia bicycles. It's believed to be the only surviving 1906 gasoline-powered Columbia from this year and model. Double chain-driven rear wheels, 4-speed transmission, and a 45 horsepower 4-cylinder engine. A cost of $4,700 brand new and enough brass to build a symphony orchestra. And one of the roomiest back seats, with a pull-out wicker seat for little ones. This is a 1909 Model T. The sign says one of the earliest known Model Ts to be documented. This is number 131, built in December of 1908. The car was originally sold with no speedometer, headlamps, or windshield, as all were optional. The differences between this and later Model Ts are quite substantial, including having 2 levers and 2 pedals on the first 750, and a water pump on the front of the engine block only in the first 2500. In addition, the head pan and location of the oil breather are different as well. '15 Roush & Lang electric car. A 1910 Oldsmobile Model 24B Limited Roadster with 43-inch tall tires. This is a replica of the first practical automobile made by Carl Benz in 1886. The working replica was made by Mercedes-Benz using the original patent drawings for the 100-year anniversary in 1986. A 1904 auto car at company advertising cannot blow up or burn up.
Considered to be America's first car to offer more than a single-cylinder engine and utilize a drive shaft rather than chain drive. It had a reputation for being exceptionally well made, reliable, and easy to operate.
Chase.
1911 Chase.
A 1903 Columbia electric car.
1903 St. Louis. The automobile and the airplane changed the world in 1903.
Of course, referring to the Wright brothers' first flight in 1903.
1909 Thomas Model L640 Flyabout.
'According to the sign, this 1912 Cadillac touring car is unrestored, original, and has only 1,380 miles on the odometer. It is the lowest mileage 1912 Cadillac known to exist. It was originally owned by the Fisher family of Detroit, the automobile pioneers who started the Fisher Body Company in 1908. The 1912 Cadillac marked a significant milestone in automobile development when it became the first car to replace the hand crank with an electric starter, an integrated electrical system of lights, a battery, and a generator to replenish the battery. This is a 1905 Cadillac touring car. The company advertising slogan was, "There isn't an automobile need that can't be filled by Cadillac." Stored for decades in a barn in Utica, Ohio, the car is in the condition it was when they found it. This is a 1910 Lozier Model H Briarcliff. The driver could regulate water flow through the hollow drums to cool the brakes. These cars were known for reliability. A side seat was provided for the mechanic. To me, it looks useful for misbehaving kids and mother-in-laws. The company advertisement was legitimately high priced. This 1915 Brewster Country Club Roadster is one of only 13 Brewster automobiles known to exist. Rolls-Royce purchased Brewster and Company after having sold just less than 500 automobiles. Factory price was $9,750 compared to a 1915 Model T touring car was priced at $440. This 1902 Thomas touring car is said to be the finest preserved, unrestored original pre-1905 automobile in existence. There is only one other Model 17 that still exists today. This is a 1907 Child's Toy. It was guaranteed to travel 20 miles on a charge and could reach speeds of 10 miles per hour. Second in sales only to Henry Ford's 1908 Model T, this 1908 Buick was offered in 6 models with a mix of 2- and 4-cylinder engines. A 1906 Waltham Orient buckboard, advertised as the cheapest automobile in the world. Everybody should have one. This is a 1913 Michigan Model R Touring. This is an extremely rare car. Few have survived. A 1908 Stanley Steamer. Prior to attending Old Car Festival at Greenfield Village last fall, I had never seen a steamer other than on static display like this one. Seeing them drive around all day and the noises they make is priceless. If you've made it this far, I appreciate you watching. Be sure to check back for more Hoods Up videos coming soon and future Gilmore Car Show event videos this year.